Hello, everyone, and welcome to the After Shift Report. I'm Diane Rayner, your host, and today we're going to talk about goals. And there's really just a full spectrum of goals out there, aren't there? I mean, it can be anything from your New Year's resolutions, finishing your degree or getting a degree, paying off a huge debt, sticking to a budget. Oh, exercising 5 days a week. That's a good one. Lose that weight. Oh, I'm going to drink more water each day. Oh, I'm going to paint the kitchen this weekend. Or maybe it's just the day-to-day things on our to-do list. Like, I need to make this phone call. I need to send this email. I need to mail this birthday cards. I mean, these are just little things that sometimes just hang over us, don't they? Well, I recently was reading through some journals that I have. I mean, I have a stack of journals this tall, and every once in a while, I just like to reread them and see where I've been and where maybe I'm still at the same place on some of them, but a lot of them I actually am I see improvement in, and that always encourages me. But one of the things that really caught my eye was on goals that I set for myself and the struggle in my early years without the personal development work of just always being stuck in that same place, that same mindset. So what prevents us from completing the goals that we set up for ourselves? I mean, goodness, we said we wanted to do these and we wanted, so why don't we do them? Well, I think there's a couple of different levels to discuss about why we don't accomplish them. First, just like there's a full spectrum of goals that we can have, there's a full spectrum of reasons why we don't follow through. Sometimes it's just we don't have enough time, or we feel like we don't have the knowledge. I don't know how to do the technology. I don't know how that all works, or so you just don't have the knowledge that you need to be able to do what you said you wanted to do. Maybe it's financial resources. You're just too busy. Your work and raising children and other things like that can sometimes make us feel we're too busy. Distractions and interruptions to the day. Oh my goodness, that's a non-stop thing, isn't it? And sometimes, and this is one for me, I would tell myself, I really just need a chunk of time. I need a block of time. If I have that, I can really get in there and get digging with it, but I don't have those blocks of time. It's funny the things that we tell ourselves. But, then there's another whole level that holds us back. And that's the stories we tell ourselves, or maybe that plays out and we don't even realize it. So for me, I found that I would constantly stay busy. Important things. I was doing good things, but I would just stay busy, 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 busy. I'd even manage to do one or two things occasionally toward accomplishing my goal. Never consistent, but just, occasionally I'd get something going. And, I would, even with just those one or two inconsistent things that I would do, I would sometimes trick myself into thinking I was really getting somewhere. However, as I mentioned in the beginning about reading in my journals, well, 10 years later, when you still haven't accomplished what you set out to do, then you have to go deep. Yep, got to take a deep dive here. It required really getting quiet. Nate, for me, I like to journal, so maybe more journaling, and just really being brutally honest with myself. Where and how was I spending my time? What was my mindset during this time? And then in the immortal words of Dr. Phil, how was my action plan working out? Yeah, not so good. I had been passive and not developed any true action steps that would get me to my goals. So it was in that quiet, introspective time that I was really able to sense an old story of not feeling good enough, that I always had to be doing to be validated as worthy, but only on the surface doing type things. So things that were easy I filled on my to-do list, but the bigger ones, I was fearful of failure and proving everyone right that I wasn't worthy. Wow, what a story I believed. I'm so thankful for the personal development work that really allowed me to work through a process and first identify that I was stuck in a story, that I was a victim to some subconscious belief that I had. My inner child's perception is what I had created, the base or was the basis for the creation of my story. But in reality, I was playing small, and I was not showing up for my own life, my own purposes. And fear can do that. Fear can do that and trick us in all kinds of ways, right? So, what can you do? Um, well, you may want to write down some of these or maybe re-listen to make sure you have them. But just as I did, the first step is really just get quiet. Take some quiet time for yourself and get brutally honest like I did. What's been working? What's not been working? Where am I spending my time? How am I spending my time? What is it that you're doing each day? So again, you have to be brutally honest. There's no shame here. This is just being a little detective and seeing what's been going on behind the curtains for yourself. And then the second step is you expand a little bit more on what's not been working and kind of always keep that there as a buffer to see if you're falling back into that step. But then create your own vision and your own goal, and what is the why behind your vision. So we'll say weight loss. If you're wanting to lose weight, why? Why do you want to lose that weight? Is it because you have health issues? Or maybe you want to prevent health issues? Is it that you want to create more energy so that you can play with your children, your grandchildren? Maybe you want to be able to have more energy so that you can do things that you might enjoy, such as going on hikes or traveling and being able to walk around new places and feel good about doing that, and not having to stop it every afternoon for a nap or stop every few steps and rest. So, dig down. What is the why behind what you want to do? The why is what keeps you in the game. It's when you feel like giving up, then you can go back to that why and say, man, I really want to be able to feel good. I want to be able to look good in my clothes. I want to have energy. I want to be able to travel, and let that catapult you forward, and keep you in the game. And then let's look further out, 3 to 5 years. So, like, if this was a goal that you really wanted to accomplish, what do you need to do to make it happen? The brain needs a hook, so to speak, into that goal to give the subconscious mind something to work on. Once you have created your vision and your why and how this can happen, then begin to take intentional action. And you'll be amazed at how your own mind really keeps pushing you forward, because it gets excited about it. You have to keep in mind your current pattern. What you found in your little self-discovery work was or has been your baseline. So you've got to change what you've been doing, and that's what we're looking at. So if you can see yourself 3 to 5 years from now, and you've met that goal, where might you have traveled to? Well, again, using the weight loss goal. So in 3 to 5 years, where might you have traveled? Where's the first place you're going? How will you get there? Will you take a cruise? Will you fly? Will you drive? Will you be in an RV camper? What are the particular places or tourist things that you would like to really see when you get there? How would that feel, to something you dreamed of forever, and actually being able to, or a place that you dreamed of going forever, and what would that feel like for you to actually be there? And then not only seeing yourself there, but seeing yourself being active there. Walking around, hiking, visiting restaurants, learning the cuisine of different countries perhaps, or different areas within this country. Get into that. Feel it. And that also will help build momentum for you. So, you know, those are just 3 things just to get you started. Again, that's just getting quiet, taking some time, and just see what's been working, what hasn't been working, where are you spending your time. And then the second step was to expand on that a little bit and keep that always in the back of your mind, what you have been doing that hasn't gotten you where you need to go. And then create your own vision for yourself, your own goal, and the why behind your vision. That's the key. And then the third step is looking 3 to 5 years beyond. What did it take for you to get in to accomplish that goal? Those are 3 steps that can help get you on your way, but nothing changes until we get into committed action. So this could be the part that you struggle with, being accountable to yourself, and that's okay. There are very few people who are so self-disciplined that they are committed and accountable to themselves. So if you think you're ready to set a goal and follow through on that goal, but maybe you lack the support or the self-discipline you need, I'd really be honored if you would reach out and discuss how we could work together on you meeting that goal. And, while there are probably lots of things you'd like to do, start with one. Just start with one and see yourself doing it. So I hope that helps you feel like you have a jumping off place, and that maybe and be encouraged that this can happen and you can do it. So I hope you have a great rest of the day and week, and we'll talk next week. Bye for now.